Everybody, and welcome to our brand new episode of Road Trip After Hours. I'm your host, Mac Davis, along with my WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Hey, what's going on with you, man? How you doing today?
Hey, this weather's got me feeling good right now. It's not hot. It's like 78 degrees outside. Oh, man, it's so nice.
Yeah,
compared
it
to
is
those
real
hundreds.
nice. Yeah, it's really nice out there. My plan is after I finish doing the show with you, I'm going to get out and cut my grass.
That's going to be some hard work, Teddy. Oh, that's going to be some hard work. You need to get your son over there.
No, I cut my own grass.
Well, if you enjoy it, that's cool. I always hated cutting grass. Oh, God. I do it every week. But and this time of year, too, that's another reason I love this time of year. You can cut it maybe 2-3 more times, and then the season's done, and you get a break for a while. So that's kind of nice too.
I just make it part of my exercise, man.
Yeah. Now, look here. When I do have to work in the yard, I'm not in the gym that day because I know I'm gonna be outside working my ass off. So
yeah,
that's my workout for that day.
That's it.
Teddy, today is Thursday. I'm trying to look for the date here. What is today's date, Teddy? The 20th? Is that
21st,
right?
I believe.
Yeah. Let's see. 21st. You're right. And today, I thought the talent may not have gotten rated from WWE and the TKO merger, but that doesn't appear to be the case because names now are being released today that include being released Mustafa Ali, Emma, Rick Boggs, Aliyah, Top Dollar, Shelton Benjamin, Dolph Ziggler, and another name that really does surprise me, Elias. All those names being let go so far. Now, that's as of this time of the recording because I fully expect we're going to hear more names before the day is over with. But, Teddy, your thoughts on these people being let go? Any names that surprise you?
Well, Elias, well, I wouldn't say it was a surprise because I kind of watched him, ever since he's been there.
Yeah.
And they set him on fire one time, and had him, going, and then they brought, put him back out. So I just don't really know what the deal is with him. It might have been something personal because I thought that his character was really outstanding. I enjoyed watching him play the guitar.
Yes.
And his interaction with the fans. I mean, I'm just me. It's my opinion. I thought it was absolutely great. In fact, I had a chance to talk to him, and I told him. But like I said, I don't know what it was. Maybe it just might have been, in-house stuff. You just never know. But I think Elijah will be okay. He's not a bad wrestler in the ring. Okay. And plus, he's able to entertain you a little bit. So
he was also, Teddy, he was one of those guys at one point that came across as the modern day Macho Man to me when he first came into WWE. And I felt like they killed that push for whatever reason. It went sideways. And then, of course, later on, they had him come out as his twin brother and shaved his face. And at that point, the fans, they tried to ride along with it. And then when he came back as Elias, it just didn't stick as well. I just feel like creative let him down. I think there's more that could have been done with Elias. And if it done properly, could have been a really big star.
Well, like I said, I just don't have any idea. And it could have been, something having to do with him too. We just never know.
Yeah. So it may always be a personal issue, of course. But
yeah, like I said, man, Elijah, I think, and I think he's going to be just fine. So I don't think he'll, have any problem getting a job anywhere. So he'll be okay.
I was surprised by two other names, really just from the aspect of how long they have been with WWE. Dolph Ziggler, having been there for 20 years. But at the same time, you and I talked about this just briefly earlier. After 20 years inside the WWE, surely money is not an issue at this point anymore.
Well, I would certainly hope so. Like I said, I was there when Dolph Ziggler came. And I had a chance to watch him work and grow. And he finally ended up where they put the world title on him. And that was a good move. I don't know. He didn't hold it very long. So
he got injured. And right after he got that title, he got injured and had to vacate the title. And I hated that because I was one of those that when he won the title, it kind of came out of nowhere. It was just like a sudden rush for this title, and he won. And for whatever reason, it popped me. That was it, man. I was like, yeah, I'm on board for this. And then he got hurt. But Dolph, to me, when it comes to value in WWE, has been his ability to make other wrestlers look good. He is so good at that. And but I agree. I think there comes a point where Dolph needs to be Dolph and see how far he can go on his own. And maybe he's happy with where he's done so far.
Well, brother, listen, if you've been able to work in a company for 20 years, then, congratulations.
Yeah.
And I think right now he'll be fine. Dolph's a hell of a worker in that ring. So he's another guy. I don't think I'll have any problems trying to find a job anywhere. And Dolph, I never known him to be a druggie or alcoholic or nothing. So I'm sure he's a guy that probably saved his money. So I think Dolph will be fine, man. So, like I said, with him 20 years up and down on that road, man, he'll be amazed at what it is to take a break. What I mean? Yeah. And wake up in your own bed and stuff, man. I enjoy this each and every day, man.
Now, I know that his brother is in AEW. In fact, Dolph made a cameo appearance in one of their social media accounts where he appeared on screen with some of the people from AEW. And that kind of makes you think, well, there's always that possibility he could join his brother over there and just have fun and make a lot of money, and with a lighter schedule, allowing him to do more of the stuff that he likes to do, which includes comedy. He's a comedian as well, so he does a lot of stand-up comedies things across the United States. So, you just never know. But what about Shelton Benjamin? Did that one surprise you at all?
Well, not really. Shelton's been there a long time too. Yeah. He's a career guy. He's been there a really long time. And so after, a certain length of time, creative, they just run out of stuff, they figure they don't have anything for him. I mean, but you can always create something. But like I said, 20 Shelton, another maybe 20-year guy too. So, he's had a great run, and Shelton is a great guy with his money. I definitely know he's a straight edge. So he saved his money. So Shelton will be okay. And Shelton is another guy who shouldn't have no problem getting no job anywhere either. No. Shelton's not only he's a great wrestler, he's a shooter. Okay, this guy here will tie you up in a knot. So like I said, these guys like Shelton, Dolph, and the Lions, I think they're going to be just fine.
And you got more places to fall into too. I mean, you got Impact, which now is doing fairly well as the ROH and AEW situation. So there's a lot of opportunities for them to go out there and still, apply their trade if that's what they choose to do. But I hope the best for all of them. Really, I hate to see anybody lose their job, but and sometimes it just happens because that's life.
Well, like I said, man, if with that longevity they've had, they're pretty set. They ain't hurting.
All right, here's some more big news for you, Teddy. SmackDown is leaving Fox. It is now said that SmackDown will be headed back over to the USA Network next fall. Terms of the deal haven't been disclosed, but those in the know say that NBC Universal paid $1.4 billion. That's with a B, $1 billion, a 40% increase from what they got from Fox on the last negotiations. So we'll see WWE go back home to USA.
Well, I'd move too.
Oh yeah, for that kind of money. Damn right. Now here's the kicker in that whole thing. While that sounds great, it's also said that USA is not going to be pursuing Monday Night Raw in NXT. Instead, they're going to be carrying just the SmackDown brand, which means that that Raw and NXT now are available to go to Disney and Amazon and some of the other guys out there as well. But, we'll have to wait and see. We knew that was coming. We knew a change was coming because Fox already said, we're not going to pay that kind of money anymore for the program, and they were going to pass it off. So we knew it was going to be a change, but it happened rather quickly for USA Network, which, of course, is the NBC Universal family. And they also get 4 prominent primetime specials per year on NBC under that contract, which hopefully may go back to the Saturday night main events, which were always – to me, I thought those were great on Saturday nights. Every few months, you got to see at the end, instead of going to, was it Saturday Night Live, they did the Saturday night main event. And that was always a blast to me.
Well, they ain't going to go back to that. I can tell you.
You don't think so?
No.
No.
The times have changed. and you have to change with the time. There's a whole different breed of wrestling fans now. There's still some old wrestling fans that, that are hardcore like you and I, there's still some, but right now, this generation here looks at it at a whole different deal. They look at it on an entertainment basis.
Yeah.
They don't understand about, the good versus evil and who's got heat and who don't have heat. They look at it as a show and entertainment. So
it's an exhibition, a one-night exhibition with no story.
Right. Well, yeah, basically, some of it
well,
is, because you don't have as many, at one point in time when I was there, everybody there had a story.
Yes.
Okay. Now, everybody there does not have a story. Mm-hmm. There's just certain guys that are involved in storylines. So, like I said, it's becoming, the changing of the world. It's entertainment now, and that's what is making money. So, you got to go with what makes you money.
We got to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to dip into the mailbag and find out what you need to ask Teddy.
Attention, this will be your only warning. All month long, Mac Davis and Teddy Long will host October Frights. October Frights. This will be your only warning.
Welcome back to Road Trip After Hours. I'm your host, Mac Davis, along with my WWE Hall of Famer, good buddy, co-host, tag team pal, whatever you want to call it, Mr. Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Hey, we're back, player.
Look, I want to bring up, just before we get into the mailbag, there was some news that happened from Wednesday night this weekend, Dynamite. Jon Moxley appears to have suffered a concussion at the end of the evening on that show. He was in a match against, what was his name? Ray Phoenix. Ray Phoenix is out there, and at one point of the match, at the very end, he picks up Jon Moxley to give him a move which drives his head into the mat. He doesn't move. The ref counts 2 and stops, even though Moxley does not kick out, and says, no, it was only 2, because it was supposed to end at that point because Moxley already was injured. Nobody really knew he was injured. Ray Phoenix picks him up and does the move again, driving his head into the mat. So Jon Moxley, we're lucky, didn't break his neck and get his career completely cut short and his life. I keep saying this, and I hate it, but AEW has got to be more careful with their performers and some of the things that they're doing and how they go about things in the ring, because sooner or later, somebody's going to die in AEW.
Well, I don't want to say that. But like I said, AEW may have a little bit of control over it, but you got to realize, too, is these guys, too. Sometimes they're being told, don't do stuff, and they'll just go ahead and, some of them, the guys that are big stars, they'll just go ahead and take it on their own and do stuff. So we really need to find out, did he, at the first one that he gave him, was he hurt there? Did the referee know, or did they, did he give the signal, or what happened?
They showed it in slow motion on the very first one, and you can see his head going into that mat. And I was like, oh God. I mean, it was scary. And the referee saw it too, but he knew he wasn't supposed to. At that point, had Ray Phoenix actually pinned Moxley when the ref only got to 2 and wouldn't count the 3, Ray Phoenix would have become champion, because Jon Moxley's the champion.
Well, here's what you got to realize, too. Once a man gets injured, we throw that storyline out the window for a minute. You know what I mean? That's serious now. So I'm saying, if that on that first one, if you saw his head hit the mat there, you seen right there where the referee was right there, too. So the referee's next job is to ask Moxley, are you okay? Are you okay? Yep. That's the next thing the referee does. So if Moxley answers him and tells him he's okay, then the referee will waive it off. If Moxley tells him, no, I'm injured, the referee will give him this. So if you've seen none of that, then I guess there's no communication. I don't know. I don't know whether the referee asked him that or not, and maybe Moxley, maybe just didn't do what the referee wanted him to do. I don't know, but
which is possible, because because
Something's not
Moxley
right.
is a little bit kind of wired a little bit differently. He enjoys some of that pain, so you have to keep that in mind. But it almost looked to me like right after the move, he wasn't even there. I mean, I don't even know that he could have even communicated.
Then it's left upon the referee. Then if you seen that this man is out of it here, the referee, they're right there. They seen it. Then the referee's decision is to do something. You know what I mean? Is to give the signal so that they know what's going on back there. Then maybe they can talk to him and tell him, well, stop it, ring the bell.
Yeah, and what's even worse to me though is that even after that questionable move, and even if you're the referee, I'm not trying to throw this on the referee because again, we don't really know what happened. But if you see that move happen and it looks like you just about injured this guy, are you really going to pick him up and do it again? And do the same freaking move to him in the back? I know a lot of people got upset after that second time
because nobody knows.
Yep.
Nobody. I mean, we don't know. Does anybody tell the guy that Moxley's injured? If somebody had told him that, I can't see him picking him up and doing it again.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. We don't know we don't know whether they're communicating in there or not. We just don't know.
One thing I do know, we hope that John Moxley is okay after the concussion and that no more damage will come from it, because that was a scary way to end the evening of a fantastic show. It was pretty damn frightening, and he did not move out of that ring right away. In fact, it took a while before he could get up on his feet and walk to the back. But he did. All right, Teddy, I know I'm keeping you long here, but we got a few questions I want to get to real quick before we get out of here. Chris in North Dakota. Teddy, have you ever seen someone just up and quit on the job?
Have I ever seen someone up and quit?
Just come in one day and go, you know what? Screw this. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I did see that. I'm just trying to remember who it was. But I did see somebody come in and walk right back out the door.
I've heard of guys who would purposely walk out the door if they heard had Abby as an opponent for the evening, but I've never heard of anybody actually walking out and going, I quit, I'm done. Yeah, but I'm sure that happened in the older days.
Yeah, I've seen that. I'm just trying. It'll come to me, man. It could be, because I'll have to remember who exactly did that. But I did see somebody come in and leave that same day.
All right, let's see our second question. Rick in Daytona asked, was there ever a time when you just lost it in the ring and let someone have it?
Well, I don't understand what he means.
If you're in a promo with somebody and things are going a little haywire, or if you maybe in the back or something where you just kind of laid into them, setting them straight.
No, I never had that to happen. Like I said, if anything like that in the ring happens, my job is to always remain a professional. So that's what I would have did. I would have remained a professional in the ring. I wouldn't have, let nothing like that, get in the way of my job. Now, maybe in the back, you know what I mean? Once we got back there, then whoever it was that I had the problem with, then maybe we could talk about it back there. Because I've had some people to go off script on me, and say stuff, that I know they weren't supposed to, because I read their part too. Yep. But you just have to be able to pick up on it. You know what I mean? Because the way that I was, and that's the way Vince was. He's always testing you, and he would always do that. Whenever I had stuff with him, he didn't never say what they wrote down. He would always come right off the top of his head with stuff, and that would be the first time I heard it. And so then I got to regroup now, because I got to, I'm live. What I mean?
You got to improvise.
I'm knowing in my head, this ain't what was on that paper, but I got to keep going. And I'll tell you an incident is one night, we was in Hamilton, Ontario, and I was doing the deal with Undertaker where he kidnapped me and everything. And I was supposed to have been hanging Vince's picture on the wall. Yep. And we finally got to that scene, and we got there, and we was talking about Vince's picture on the wall. And he finally said something to me, you know what I mean? He asked me something. I can't remember, but I looked at him and I said, no, I work for you, sir.
Yeah.
And it stumped him. He left. And the reason I know, because Taker told me later on that night, he said, I'd never seen anybody stump him. He said he had no words for you when you told him that. And Vince, and later on that night, Vince was leaving, and he sees me and he looks over at me and he says, you're too much. And that's how that ended.
That's cool to have that kind of relationship and respect from Vince McMahon. Let's see.
Do your job. Do your job. That's all you got to do. Do your job. Do what the man said. Don't go there. Don't worry about what he wants you to do, because whatever Vince wants you to do, believe me, he would do it.
And look here, I always kind of relate it to the fact of how kids are with your parents. And you may not like what your parents are telling you, but they're your parents. Listen to what they tell you and do it. As long as you live with them, you listen to your parents and do what they ask you to do. It's no different when you go get a job. And that's part of what you're being prepped for as a child and growing up in a house, is to take a job and do what the boss asks you to do, as long as it's legal. Let's see. Number 3 on our list here, and we are going to run out of time, so I'm going to have to make this the last one.
Right.
Shalonda from X, which is the Twitter thing, writes, Kurt Angle spoke highly of you as GM of SmackDown, saying you were the fans' favorite GM and that you were that you were smooth and entertaining. Any stories with Kurt Angle?
Yeah, man. Kurt and I was always good friends, man, and love him so much. I think when Kurt was first starting there, and I was just breaking into there. And Kurt had this company that sold the sausages, the oysters. I think that was the name of them. And Kurt used to always bring me those oysters, because those were things that you could eat that were really healthy. So, and he didn't have to do that, but he'd always look out for me, and he'd bring me stuff, and he'd always come talk to me. Me and him always got along, had great conversations, man. And I have a whole lot of respect for Kurt Angle.
Yeah, to me, probably one of the best people to pick up the how to do professional wrestling like it was nothing to it. It was scary to see how fast he grew in this business. Teddy, we're out of time. That's it. That's it for this week. But hey, I'll see you next Tuesday, and I'll see you next Thursday as well. What you got going on this weekend? Anything?
Hey, well, I'm at home this weekend, but next weekend I'll be in Sykesville, Maryland for Adrenaline Championship Wrestling. They got a big tag team tournament going on there. So players, I'll be right there in the house. Adrenaline Championship Wrestling, Sykesville, Maryland, next Friday night.
And what's the fellow's name that's going to be there from WWE?
James Ellsworth is his promotion.
James Ellsworth. Yeah. And look, I love James too. Obviously, he wasn't going to be a long-term superstar with WWE, but he played his role very well. And I commend him for doing that. And he's a really nice guy. I've met him a couple of times. So
super nice guy.
Yeah. All right, Teddy, that's it. I'm Mac Davis. That's WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long. And this has been Road Trip After Hours.